So here comes the decider game between these two players. We've had Britons and Celts for game 1, game 2 with random civs. And for Land Nomad, as is Jenkemite's home map, he has gone with Bulgarians and Beowulf with the Teutons. I'd say... yeah, well, this is with you two and building theses right next to each other. Exactly. It tends to happen. They're close again, actually. But Beowulf is arguably a better spot here. Lots of hunt right next to the TC. So, civilizations here, we have Teutons for Beowulf. I like that pick, actually, for Land Nomad, because they have 40% cheaper farms. So, even if you struggle with food sources early on, you will be able to drop down some farms and saving wood per farm you put down, so you have an easier time getting to the food eco. Whereas Bulgarians, they don't have any direct eco bonus. But when they get to the cast age, their TCs cost only 50 stone, so if you want to, you could go straight to a 5 TC boom with Bulgarians without mining a single bit of stone. So you see it in stone count as well. Actually, you could actually go on land Nomad. You could actually go for 5 extra TCs with Bulgarians because you save 50 stone for the first one. So you see Beowulf here with you start with extra stone for both players, but left with 50 more for Jenkemite. Allows for 2 feudal age towers as well, so that could be defensive edge as well. Moving into the next stage, stone not too far off for the Bulgarians player here. So Bulgarian strengths are that their militia line gets upgraded instantly into men-at-arms, longswords, and stops at 200 swordsmen in the Imperial Age. And they have mobility as well. They have a great unique tech for the cavalry stirrups. Cavalry attack 33% faster. You only get cavalier, but you get full upgrades for them. And you also have a unique tech in the Imperial Age for the militia line, so your 200 swordsmen will gain +5 armor. So also you have the unique building, the Krepost for Bulgarians, so you could go into Krepost and push your opponent. If you have access to stone, that is certainly a go-to play for Bulgarians. Teutons, on the other hand, great eco, great boom with the cheaper farms, slow civilization, but with mobility they have the strongest melee units in the game because they get one extra melee armor in Cast Age, one extra in Imperial Age. So your champions line, halberdiers, paladins, everything will be just so much stronger. Stops at scout cavalry though, so your raiding potential with Teutons is limited. And in return you have strong siege. You have a unique tech for the siege as well, and a unique tech for the castles to have more range. So interesting matchup here, both classified sort of as infantry civs, I think. And not sure if we will see any infantry run-ins here, but let's fast forward a little bit and see what the feudal age actions will be bringing here. Bulgarians against Teutons, hold my beer. Exactly, yeah. So it's faster attacking cavalry versus more tanky cavalry. And actually, come to think of it, if you go into Bulgarians 200 swordsmen against Teuton halberdiers, for example, they might hold up pretty decent after all, having roughly the same melee armor for the infantry, but I doubt we'll be seeing that. So Goose being used a little bit for scouting here. Beowulf sees a blue house over here. Let's look at Jenkemite scouting. Lot more extensive scouting already. May find the enemy location. Does find a boar within luring distance here, so that's good for the food economy. Jenkemite also with 1 villager more overall. Uh-oh. Okay, loom is in, that's good. Don't try and lure this far with a boar not having loom, that's not gonna work. And there are geese scouting the area here, getting some good grasp of the map here. And let's see if they run into Beowulf's TC now. I think the goose will spot this one. Okay, goose lost over here, house here. Should give an indication that this might very well be Beowulf's location. Now for Beowulf, bit neglected in the scouting here, doesn't know anything about Jenkemite's location, and that it is in fact pretty close. That could be hurtful moving into the next age, but it is going to be feudal age first for Beowulf here. going for the barracks and house here, and then farms to get that food eco rolling. Seems to struggle a little bit for food going into feudal age here though. But let's see here. It's nevertheless going to have a significant lead into the feudal age. I think scouts are on the agenda here, possibly. I mean, with the gold access here, you could justify men-at-arms as well, but they aren't being produced. So with the farms, more farms being placed here, I think it's definitely going to be a scouts opening. And I like scouts for land nomad. You'd have the mobility, even if you don't find the enemy right away, you'd have the mobility to snipe stray villagers like this, or simply just scout the map and find all of the stray resources like golds and stones and woodlands, obviously. Here comes the stable. Village also on the way for the Bulgarians player, going for the militia approach here. Going to go into 3 men-at-arms at least here, and with some luck might find some exposed eco. Let's see. Looks like most of, if not everything, is under the TC for Beowulf here. So Bulgarians, 3 men-at-arms won't really accomplish much here. Could take out this farm though, this farmer. Idle the farms a little bit. Oh, men-at-arms into stable, so men-at-arms into scouts here for Jenkemite. I like it. Yep, so stables is up for Jenkemite as well. Provides for some scouting intel here. 1 scout over here for Beowulf. Did he only have 2 overall? Yeah, 2 military. And didn't find the mill over here, which would be a very exposed place to hit. Men-at-arms won't really... I mean, they could challenge the stable here, actually, because that should be outside of TC range, and I think that might be the plan here. No. So food situation looks healthy for both players, but look at these cheap Teuton's farms. That's just going to make the cast stage transition so much easier for Beowulf here. 15 farmers right now, 3 scouts on the field as well, and with a little bit more knowledge of the map now. Just missing the mill over here, unfortunately, so that could have been 2 or 3 dead villagers there for Jenkemite. And overall numbers, both players keeping somewhat consistent production here. Seems like Jenkemite is slightly ahead in terms of less idle time here. Deals with the men-at-arms, nice and easy there, and now 4 Teuton Scout ready to dominate on the field here. Scouts for Jenkemite as well though, 1 spearman near the walls here to keep scouts from challenging the production over here. And Teuton Scouts, they are still scouts and can outrun spearmen in the field age, no problem. I feel like Jenkemite is over-investing into spearmen here, but of course needs those walls up as well. There are points of entry both to the north and to the south here for now, but the wall-off is in progress. And as I always say for Land Nomad, you get your resources covered and everything for the early game, but you are also forcing yourself into the corner. So if your opponent has a better eco like this, you can't know that without proper scouting, but let's assume that the opponent's eco setup is set up towards a quicker cast stage. You're gonna struggle a lot because you risk getting a cast in your face. You won't have any point of escape, and it will be GG because you even risk getting walled in here. I mean, Beowulf could wall here, could drop any building or army here to deny expansion from this side, and then wall over here as well, and then suddenly Jenkemite is forced in the corner with no point of escape whatsoever. So in general, if I can, I try to avoid building too close to the edges of the map on Nomad starts, or close to the shoreline on Nomad, because you'd just be at risk of lots of unnecessary exposure to enemy army, or or being walled in, as also could happen in this scenario. I guess it's a bit tougher in this area, but imagine a castle drop here with Beowulf with an earlier cast age. Wall of stone walls, stone walls somewhere around here, and then you're in quite a pickle if you're Jenkemite. But Jenkemite with serious army presence on the field now, with 4 scouts and some spearmen here and there, means more of a commitment in terms of food and gold, everything as well. So heavily on gold, actually, will definitely be needing a market now to adjust this. Whereas Beowulf, with a very healthy farm eco here, 21 farms, is looking at the cast age in any second here now. There we go. Looks like villagers are being committed to the fight here. Beowulf goes to cast age with only 31 villagers here against the enemy's almost 40. But that technology lead is still going to make a huge difference here going to the next stage. You could start pushing with siege here, you could ram down the stables, or you could almost reach the TC from outside with mangonels actually. But if you have the mobility, you're going for the stables here. If you break through the walls here, rams, mangonels, whatnot, you could just send in a few knights and raid so much of the economy here. In Jenkemite's defense though, is taking stone here, will have the option of defensive towers or later on defensive crepos. Also has 4 stray villagers outside, so dropping a TC here or somewhere around the neutral resources is still an option going into the next age here. That the eco balance here really needs some makeover though, because so having so much gold and not being able to spend it on units is very hurtful at this stage of the game. Being in feudal age still. With a market here, you could actually buy all the food needed to click up, worst case, and then just match that cast age. It's beginning to look tough for Jenkemite here already. Sure has some army, but that's spearmen exclusively, I think. Here comes the market, finally. Also, the buildings for the cast age click are in place here. I think seeing the opponent reach cast age now, you just buy the resources and get to that cast age yourself ASAP. On the other hand, if Jenkemite makes it to cast age in time here, could drop a castle right here, then the TC is perfectly fine, and Beowulf will be forced to attack from the sides instead. And then you could house wall behind and keep the knights out, no problem. Even a crepost would limit the aggression here a lot actually, and the stone already allows for that. It is doubled stables for Beowulf, a second TC being added as well, so that is going to contribute to the villager numbers here. We hopefully will see Beowulf catching up and in villager numbers and taking the eco lead even further. Having the castle age already. Look at the resources as well, staying low here. 8 on gold, 14 on food should be enough to sustain double stable production to some extent. House walls by Jenkemite here, keeping the aggression out for now. Oh, but there's a hole in the palisade walls there. That's going to be bad for Jenkemite. 3 knights, soon to be 5, 6, 7. Oh, this is devastating for Jenkemite now. On the way to the cast stage. Doesn't have access to pikemen yet. Has some spears. The problem being Teutons get that extra armor instantly. So they have an easier time fighting off unupgraded spearmen, although they are sort of the counter. They have the +1 attack though, helps out a little bit. Beowulf doesn't seem to care too much about the knights here right now, just idling the enemy TC and dealing the damage they can there. This will be a defensive castle for sure. And quick wall, this will be just vital here to keep the knights out. TC providing some cover fire, but look at all these villagers being committed to building now. We'll maybe lose a few on the way as well. Numbers are equal now, and KD is similar as well, but the eco is just so much more efficient for Beowulf. So the palisade goes back up, Jenkemite is safe for now. A lot of the matches are 3 games, we didn't see a lot of 2s here. No, that's perfect, I like it that way. Means that the players are somewhat evenly matched, or that Nomad starts are causing upsets between players of unequal skill. Like here, we see almost 100 elo difference as of today, right? So definitely going to see some upsets here. 5 knights, 6 military, 7 military now for Beowulf. 2 is 3 TCs, there's the third one. So will the numbers certainly going to increase here. It's a second and third TC for Jenkemite as well, but again, being cramped up in the corner like this, you'd want at least 1 TC far out here as well to take some more map presence. Just don't give it all the way to Beowulf here. He has the military numbers, he can dominate the field. Just take the map presence in different corners of the map while you still can, because Beowulf has very lacking scouting on the rest of the map. So for all Beowulf knows, there could be a blue TC all the way over here now. Defensive Krepost in the north, I like it. That's going to limit the Knight's aggression here, and stable and houses keep the aggression out as well, serving as creek walls. Cover fire from the Krepost, great defensive play here by the Bulgarians player. It is an equal lead for Beowulf though, and he's spending that wisely here, has 3 TCs more or less producing here, and massing up on the Knight's numbers. So even not being able to break through necessarily, you have the army lead, and you have the potential to expand even further on the map, considering that Jenkemite is playing it extremely defensive and at this end of the map. Purple's on the hill now, so Jenkemite is making use of these 4 villagers that were mining stone over here. I love this hill presence here. That's going to secure this gold for Jenkemite and provide a fallback point for the villagers if they are not allowed to mine peacefully here. Where are the noises? Oh, there it is. I think I'm getting tired already. I couldn't find out where they were battering away here. Oh, that's a ballsy town center by Jenkemite. Think he needs to delete that ASAP, otherwise the knights will kill this one, and it will be stones and wood down the drain. Yep. Kills that one, saves the stone. Lots of resources now in the bank for Jenkemite. Still has an gold instability issue here. Should adjust this somehow. Maybe buy some more stone for another castle or some kind of a defensive measure here. Krepost might even go down to Knight's Fire here because the murder holes isn't in for Jenkemite here. Meanwhile, Siege Workshop for Beowulf. Just a couple of a couple of rams added here. Battering rams, and you deal with the Krepost nicely. They only have 2600 HP, so it's much easier to take down on the castle. If you have 2 or 2 rams, it disappears in a matter of minutes. Murder holes on the way though, so the university is up for thinking about murder holes and masonry to strengthen the buildings. That's actually a decent defensive measure here, although it should mean that at best that the knights just oh. I thought for a moment it was going to attack the knight there with the villagers. That would be funny. But murder holes is in. Let's see if Beowulf realizes this. 1 knight down. Yeah, there we go. Good reaction. Still doesn't have the +2, so no 2 pierce armor here for Beowulf. But with the +1 has the equivalent of the scale barding armor. No. What is it? Second armor for mounted units. I confuse these names. Ooh. How did she get in there? Didn't she get converted or something? That's sneaky. She dies to TC, unfortunately. A traitor. And some knights battering away. 50 military to 4 here. Another TC attempt, and this time I think Jenkemite doesn't save that stone and wood. As it's very interesting. I love that outpost. Let's see. Oh, getting some decent map intel here actually. So knights won't be let in, but they will see that defensive crep post going up, and the knights will need to run away yet again. +2 on the way for Beowulf on the way as well, and with more villagers to back everything here. Here comes the defensive castle. Imperial Age is on the way. That should be far away for Jenkemite here, considering the current resources. And with Imperial Age in, you could start Treb pushing down this castle. Then your knights, probably going to be Cavalier, will have free entry, and it's going to be extremely tough for Jenkemite to recover. Some conics in the making here, so maybe some raiding potential in the exposed parts of Beowulf's eco, but looking at the overall population here, it's more villagers, more population, more military, most significantly for Beowulf here, and more map control, because Jenkemite is forced into their own little corner here. Oh, the outpost died. There's even a monk in place here to heal up. That's one of the Teuton's bonuses as well. It's not as natural to go into monk defense against small groups of knights, because Teuton's units have resistance against conversion. So it looks like Jenkemite is going into stirrups here, so wants to challenge those knights with his own knights attacking faster. It's still the issue of more armor though. They both have +2, that means that the Teuton's knights will have +3 melee armor, whereas the Bulgarian ones will only have +2. Also, with Imperial Age kicking in, it will be +4 or +5 here for Beowulf. I don't quite remember. I think it's +4 before the Imperial upgrade. It looks like a forward castle might be... No, never mind. I see villagers walking. I'm suspecting a castle, but it's just stone miners. Military 26 to 15, but Imperial Age is in, and Beowulf even going into swordsman line here, maybe expecting a halberdier switch from Jenkemite here. Jenkemite tries to move out, maybe wanting to build another crab post, and that's not gonna happen. Yeah, Imperial Age is in, Jenkemite is falling behind a bit too much. Again, it comes down to map control here. Walling is nice, but giving away 90% of the land nomad map generation is not as nice. You see, the players don't really make use of the map here to expand. You usually see that on Cast Age onwards for land nomad. You'd see TCs everywhere, one here, maybe one here, just to make raiding more difficult, so that you always have access to stone, gold, wood, maybe even grab the relics, or at the very least gain as much scouting intel as possible, so you have fallback points for the resources. But let's look at the stats here. KD in the positive for Beowulf in the end. Food sources, not surprisingly, very much higher here with that Teuton's farm bonus with cheaper farms. Roughly similar in Fuel Age uptimes, but then the Cast Age and the constant pressure paid off for Beowulf here, and the earlier imp, of course, ending the game in his favor here. We have 103 to 85 villagers, and yeah, overall army presence just higher for Beowulf here, so well played indeed, and good luck next.